Welcome to the Real Lost Boss podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Real Lost Boss podcast. And in this episode, we're going to discuss, do you need to exercise to lose weight? Loads of people think exercise is the be all and end all of weight loss. And you've got to do regular exercise if you're going to have a successful weight loss journey. And you know what? That simply isn't the case. Why do most of us feel like we have to exercise to lose weight? I just think, and we do this all the time when it comes to weight loss, we put 2 and 2 together and get 5, and exercise is no exception to that rule. And I think we just have that association. Most people that we see to do regular exercise don't have a weight issue. I don't do regular exercise, so this is why I do have a weight issue. And yeah, that just simply isn't the case. Now, when I started my weight loss journey back in February 2014, I had the same mindset. I thought I had to exercise to lose weight. And it was the number one. It was number one. If I didn't exercise, I wasn't going to have a successful weight loss journey. And just like I said there, I put 2 and 2 together and got 5. I had quite a lot of friends that, you know, I'd be in the pub on a Friday night and I'd probably been in there 6 hours, 10 pints deep. Always drink responsibly, kids. And my friends would come in, or some friends would come in, and they'd wander in about 9:15. And some of them would be eating a chocolate bar when they walked in, and then they'd have a pint. And I'm like, where have you been? Been to the gym. Like, that's why they can eat chocolate. That's why they can drink pints and don't have a weight issue. And I'm sat here on my bar stool, drinking and eating the same as them, and I have a weight issue because I don't exercise. That is, that was my mindset. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, Neil, you were so far from the truth. The difference is, yes, they've been to the gym and yeah, they're eating a chocolate bar, but you're just assuming that person eats chocolate the way you eat chocolate, You eat 6 chocolate bars a day, Neil. They don't. That might be their first chocolate bar and last chocolate bar of the week. And when you've been and done a good gym session, getting some fast digesting carbs into your body is actually good for recovery. And that's probably the reason why they're having that chocolate bar. Likewise, they're having 1 pint, then they're going off, right? You've sat there and drunk 10 pints and consumed over 2,000 calories of alcohol. That's one of the reasons why you have a weight issue, Neil. And they don't. It's overall lifestyle. But yeah, I did feel that I had to do regular exercise. And I did join the gym. I joined the gym about 2 months after I started my weight loss journey. It was very hard for me to do. I had a lot of gym phobias or fears. I had a fear of the unknown anyway. Most people do. And obviously the gym for me was a massive unknown. I'd never set foot in a gym in my life. So I was very nervous about going, but I did go because I wanted success in my weight loss journey. And again, I had that mindset. You have to exercise, Neil, to lose weight. So I joined the gym and I started going on a regular basis. And you know what? I actually quite enjoyed it. After a month, I was pretty bored. I was just going on an exercise bike, walking on a treadmill. I've been given some terrible advice. You need to do cardio till you lose your weight, then start doing weights to tone up and change your body shape. So I just did cardio for the first month. It absolutely bored the life out of me, but I was in a great mindset. I wasn't quitting. And then I started doing some cardio and some weights. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just making it up as I was going along. And looking back now, I was probably doing nothing that I should have been doing, but I was doing something. I don't mean nothing I should have been doing. What I mean by that is my routines, the way I was training, was I progressing myself? Well, yes, of course I was, because I'd gone from doing nothing to doing something. And that is, one of my big kind of philosophies. Doing 5 minutes in the gym is better than doing nothing. 10 minutes is better than doing 5 minutes. And that's the same with anything, If you go from having 6 takeaways a week to having 4 takeaways a week, you're making an improvement, and then you just need to progress from there. Anyway, started going to the gym, started chucking a few weights around, then mixing it up, doing a little bit of cardio, and I actually enjoyed it. And obviously, first 12 months of my weight loss journey, I lost 10 stone. And do you know what? I put so much of that loss down to the fact that I was going to a gym on a regular basis. And it just really wasn't the case. Why? Why wasn't that the case? Well, exercise, the only direct effect exercise has on weight loss is it burns some calories. And it actually doesn't burn that many. A lot of us think exercise burns a ridiculous amount of calories. Maybe that's just lack of education around calorie burn, or in this day and age, because every Tom, Dick and Harry has a fitness tracker on their wrist, including me. I use Apple Watch. I absolutely love it. I've had one since 2017. The thing about fitness trackers is they are extremely optimistic when it comes to calories burned. They're amazing for accountability. That's what I use my Apple Watch for. I know on average, my Apple Watch, the red ring, the move ring, if anyone's got an Apple Watch, my average active calorie burn is about 1,400 calories a day. Does it mean I'm burning 1,400 calories a day on top of my metabolism? No, not at all. They're normally about 25 to 30% optimistic. But I just know that on average, the number I need to think of is 1,400 calories is my average calorie burn. So if I have a day where I do 1,800 calories on my watch, I know I've had a nice active day. If I have days where I do 1,000, I know I've been a bit lazy that day. And if I have a look and, I've only done 1,100 today, I'm going to push myself a bit more in the gym tomorrow or go and try and do a few more steps. Likewise, if I have a day where I do 2,000 calories on my Apple Watch, the next day, if I'm a bit tired, I'll go, do you know what? I did loads yesterday. I'm still going to do a bit. Obviously, I'll still get my steps in. Still probably going to go to the gym, but I might do something a little bit less intense, or I might not go for that second dog walk at the end of the day or something like that. But anyway, yes, your fitness trackers are really optimistic when it comes to calories burned. So the only direct effect exercise has on weight loss is it burns some calories. And yeah, it doesn't really burn that many calories. I go to the gym 5 days a week for between 45 minutes to an hour. And I would say the calories I burn from exercise makes up around about 8% of my overall calorie burn. So how can something, and the only thing that defines our fat loss or our fat gain is energy balance, calories in, calories out. They are key. Remember, what we eat determines our health, calories in, calories out for fat loss, fat gain. So why would something that only makes up 8% of the essential calorie burn have so much emphasis or direct effect on my weight loss? The honest truth is, it doesn't. I only started to realise this in 2016, and it was a big thing for me because I'll be honest with you, I got a bit of an obsession with exercise. And if you're obsessed with anything, even if it's something that should improve your life, and trust me, exercise does improve your life. I'm going to talk about that more shortly. But if you get obsessed with anything, you're going to have an unhealthy relationship with it. And I did get a bit obsessed with exercise. I did feel it was the be all and end all of my weight loss journey. And I thought if I ever go a period of not exercising, I'm going to gain all my weight back. That is the mindset I had. And in 2016, I went for skin removal surgery. It was my first skin removal surgery after weight loss. I'd not lost all my weight then, but I'd lost a lot of body fat in my chest area, in my upper body. I had a lot of loose skin as my moobs had pretty much gone. And I found it quite uncomfortable. I was also very self-conscious about it. I used to enjoy going swimming and, seeing my loose skin. I've grown to love my loose skin now, but at the time it was quite tough mentally to see it. So I paid privately and I went and had skin removal surgery done on my chest and had basically the male version of a breast reduction. And I couldn't exercise for about 6 weeks. And the panic that was going through my body knowing that was the case. I could still get my steps in, few days after having my first surgery, I was up and about, and they encourage you to go walking because walking increases blood flow, and good blood flow is what helps the body heal. But I wasn't allowed to exercise. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't stretch my chest area out. I couldn't reach up. I had to be quite careful with it, certainly for about the first 6 to 8 weeks. And yeah, the thoughts going through my head, oh, I'm going to be gaining all this weight. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. And do you know what? I didn't weigh myself. I stayed away from the scales. I went, had my skin removal surgery, stayed away from the scales. And when I was ready to go back to the gym, which was after about 6 weeks, I healed very, very well. I'm a quick healer. I went back to the gym and I jumped on the scales in the gym. And do you know what? I gained a pound. I'd gained a pound. And don't get me wrong, I'd probably lost a couple of pounds of loose skin. So from the operation, I might have gained 2 or 3 pounds. Now I know that could have just been a little bit of water retention. In fact, it was probably I still had quite a bit of swelling in my chest for about 3 or 4 months after my operation. So it was probably just some water retention from that. But I was actually over the moon because it really did. Obviously, a lot of negative thoughts were going through my head. So it kind of got rid of those. But yeah, long term, it really improved my relationship with exercise because it made me realise, Neil, you don't need to exercise all the time. And yeah, I could be a bit of a prat with it, if I'm being honest with you. My wife's from Manchester, and some Saturdays, she'd be like, right, we're going to go over and see my mum and her niece and nephew and see her nan and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, not a problem. We'll go after I've been to the gym. And she'd be like, well, no, they're all going out, just after lunch. So we need to go in the morning. I was like, no, I need to go to the gym. And that's how I was. I was really, really selfish with it. And, I'm very lucky she was quite supportive, and she'd either go on her own or, she'd be like, right, well, I'll ring them up and I'll say we'll come next week or something like that. But looking back now, I was just being a bit of a prat because I had this unhealthy relationship, and I was like, I have to exercise. I have to go today. I have to stick to the routine. But yeah, after that operation, it kind of gave me a mindset that you can have a few weeks off and it's not going to affect your weight loss whatsoever. Once I started to really understand and learn about weight loss, and that sort of really kicked in when I became a personal trainer and started working with people one-to-one, that is what has led me to have the philosophy now about exercise and weight loss, and that it really isn't the be all and end all, because understanding calorie burn, our biggest calorie, and like I say, calories are king. Our biggest calorie burn is our metabolism. So if we use me as an example, I burn 3,500 calories a day on average. That includes everything. Every different way I burn calories combined together is 3,500. My metabolism is 2,500 calories a day. So your metabolism is the amount of calories you burn when you're inactive to survive, basically. Heart function, brain function, your lungs, digestive system, growing new skin, shivering when you're cold, sweating when you're hot, blinking. All these things is part of your metabolism. And my metabolism is 2,500 calories a day, which is, over 2/3 of my calorie burn I burn from just sitting on my bum. So when I'm sat here now recording this podcast, if you're watching this on video, you'll see that I always move my hands around a lot. But, I burn 100 calories a day. So if it takes me an hour to record a podcast, while I'm sat here just talking into a camera, I'm burning 100 calories, a little bit more than 100 calories. So that's my biggest calorie burn. My second biggest calorie burn is my daily movement, getting my steps in, which is about, for my current size, my fitness level is about maybe 650 calories a day. And then my final calorie burn is the gym, and I burn about 350 calories per gym session, something like that, maybe 400. 350, 400 per gym session. And I only go to I go a lot compared to what most people go, but I go to the gym 5 days a week. So let's say I burn 400 calories in the gym and I add all those together, that's 2,000 calories a week. If you divide that by 7, training increases my calorie burn by about 250, maybe a little bit more, 285 a day. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but if I burn 3,500 calories in a day and only 285 of those are from exercise, then that is why exercise is not the be all and end all. Now, I did a few podcasts ago. I've no idea. Was it maybe 24 from memory? Don't quote me on that. Talking about support tools, and exercise is a support tool. That's what I class it as. It's not an essential. It's not the be all and end all. It is a support tool, and what a support tool it is. And this is what I realise now about exercise. From the start of my weight loss journey, or 2 months into my weight loss journey, I joined a gym. And from that point, I've done regular exercise. When I first joined the gym, I was going a couple of times a week. That increased to 3 times a week after a few months. That kind of became the norm, probably for the first 12 months of my weight loss journey. I might have done the odd week where I did 4, but most of the time I went 3 times a week. And what was that doing in terms of helping on my weight loss journey? It was improving 2 things: my physical and mental health. And if your physical and mental health are tip top, it makes this journey so much easier. The majority of people, I don't want to stereotype and label, but you know what? I am going to, because this is what I truly believe. The majority of people have a weight issue because of emotional eating. A lot of people think they have a weight issue because, my diet's a bit poor. Yes, that's a contributing factor. My portion control's not great. Yes, that's another contributing factor. I'm a bit lazy. Yes, that is another contributing factor. But the honest truth is, most people have a weight issue, because of emotional eating. Food is their coping mechanism. It's a distraction from everyday life. It's a friend. It's a confidant. It's a comfort blanket. And the more severe your weight issue is, I would say the more severe your emotional eating issues are. That was certainly the case for me. I was 37 stone and I just literally looked for any excuse in the book to use food to make me feel better. And it would only make me feel better for a few seconds, for a few minutes, for, a small period of time. And in all honesty, the amount of time it made me feel better compared to the amount of time it made me feel worse, there's no comparison. But that's what I did with food. I used it as a distraction. I used it as a friend. I used it as a comfort blanket. I used it as something that was always there for me. And for it to always be there for me, I needed to always eat. That is the honest truth. And emotional eating is a mental health issue. Weight issues are a mental health issue. That is how it should be diagnosed. I've read lots of research, and I'll probably do another podcast on this, but if someone said to me, what is mental health? Is it a disease? Is it a virus? For me, it's a mental health disorder or issue, just the same as depression might be, just the same as any eating disorder is. I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, anorexia, bulimia, these are under eating disorders. Binge eating disorder, which is an over, is classified as a mental health issue. Obesity in general is a mental health issue. One of the best things for our mental health is exercise. It really, really is. And I truly believe one of the big factors for me controlling my emotional eating from a couple of months into my weight loss journey, and to be fair, from the start of my weight loss journey, I started moving more, started going for walks. And at the time, although I don't class walking to the corner shop and back now as exercise, or mooching with the dog round the village as exercise, back then I would have done, because I found it very, very hard to move. So I've always worked on improving my movement and doing regular exercise. I think that's a massive contributing factor for my mental health being in the shape it is. Doesn't mean I don't have low mood still every now and then. It doesn't mean that I don't have stress, I don't have anger, I don't have, negative emotions floating around every now and then. But that's the key. It's every now and then. It used to be a constant. It isn't now. And yeah, one of the big reasons for that is exercise. It's proven, exercise is one of the best medicines, certainly for mental health and for physical health. Physical health, how does having good physical health contribute your weight loss journey? Well, it just makes life easier. Like if you're physically fit and healthy, if you've got a lot of stuff to do throughout the day, you might have, right, I'm going to tidy the kids' bedrooms, I'm going to clean the house, I'm going to need to do some washing, I need to go to Tesco and do a shop, I need to do this, I need to do that. That's physical stuff, you're moving around a lot. The more physically fit you are, the easier everyday tasks and everyday life becomes. I know that. Flipping heck, I remember doing my first shop just before I started my weight loss journey. And I'd gone to Tesco, got a trolley, walked around, I was having to read quite a few labels, making sure stuff was good for me and this, that and the other. And I remember it took me about an hour, hour and a half, and I spent about 100 quid 10 years or so ago. That got you a good bit more shopping than it does nowadays. And I remember getting to the car afterwards and I was physically exhausted. Walking around, packing the trolley up, unpacking it, packing the bags up, back into the trolley back to the car, unload. And I remember getting in the car and I was absolutely shattered. Why? Because I was physically unfit. Now, it's flipping heck. I could go to Tesco 10 times a day and do an hour shop. In fact, I'd enjoy that. I don't know why. I don't know why I just thought of that. I always see whenever we go to Tesco's, the people that walk around and do the shopping for people that do online shopping. And I'm like, they're getting their steps in because you can't be bothered going to the supermarket. Anyway, that might be for another podcast as well. But yeah, I think I'd be dead nosy. I've always fancied doing that job. Anyway, you never know one day. So exercise, fantastic for physical health, fantastic for mental health. And yeah, is something that everyone should do. Whether you're trying to lose weight or not, you should exercise. So, do you need to exercise to lose weight? Absolutely not. Should you exercise while on a weight loss journey? Yeah. Should you exercise once you get to your goal weight? Yeah. Should you exercise even if you don't need to lose weight? Absolutely. It's just something everyone should do. How much should you exercise? How much should you be putting in? Do you know what? Again, this is all different for lots of different people. For some people, it could be 3 times a week. For some people, if you're just starting out, yeah, it's different for everybody. I would say if you could exercise twice a week for half an hour to 45 minutes, that is a great start. And then just progress from there. Can you do too much exercise? Yes. Like I've already said in this podcast, if it starts to take over your life, if it starts to become a chore, if it starts ruling different things, and you get a bit obsessed with it, then yes, you are doing too much. I go 5 days a week, not because I need to for weight loss. I used to think like that. I go to the gym 5 days a week because it does me good, physically and mentally. Last bit from me today in this podcast is, what is the best exercise for weight loss? People ask me this all the time. And kind of I've covered this in this podcast already. There is no exercise that is specifically fantastic for weight loss. I always used to push resistance training. I was always Mr. Resistance Training. Go lift weights, go lift weights, go lift weights. Don't get me wrong. I still personally feel that resistance training, weightlifting, whatever you want to call it, is the best exercise anyone can do. Why? Because it has the most benefits out of all exercises. It strengthens joints, it strengthens muscles. That basically reverses the effects of aging. It can keep things like osteoporosis away, arthritis away. It can keep things like sarcopenia, which is the depletion of skeletal muscle. It can stop that. It does burn some calories. It does get you fitter and healthier. It's great for mental health. It's great for changing body composition. Vanity should never be the main reason why we want to lose weight, but vanity will always play a part in life, in the whole animal kingdom. It's spring coming up while I'm recording this podcast, and there's lots of animals fluffing their feathers, birds, and we have a peacock that wanders around our village randomly, and his feathers are on full show because he's vain, trying to find a mate somewhere. So vanity will always play a part in life, and if you go to the gym and you lift weights, it will change your body composition, your aesthetics, the way you look, for the better. Like I say, that shouldn't be the main goal of weight loss. The main goal of weight loss should be to get physically fitter and healthier, and mentally fitter and healthier as well. But yeah, vanity is going to play a good part in it. Well, it's going to play a part in it, not a good part, but it's going to play a part in it, of course. It'd be naive to say it wasn't. So yeah, lifting weights has, for me, the most benefits. But the best exercise anyone listening stroke watching this podcast now can do when it comes to weight loss is something you enjoy doing. All exercise is going to improve in certain ways your physical and mental health, which is those brilliant support tools for your weight loss journey. And if you enjoy doing something, you are going to be consistent with doing it. When I started going to the gym, I sat on an exercise bike for half an hour, 2 to 3 times a week, and it bored the life out of me, if I'm being honest. When I then first started lifting weights, I found it entertaining. I enjoyed it. It was something I looked forward to. If I just done cardio in the gym and never tried something else, I would have stopped going to the gym after a few weeks. But I found something that I enjoy doing, and that has helped to support my weight loss journey for the last 10 years because I've been consistent with it. So it doesn't matter if you enjoy swimming, if you enjoy walking on a treadmill. It's not something I want to do, but just because it's not something I want to do doesn't mean it's something you shouldn't be doing. If you enjoy playing tennis, playing badminton, if you enjoy yoga, Pilates, if you, I might have already said swimming. Swimming's fantastic, really, really is good. Go and do an aqua aerobics class. If you enjoy doing any class at your local gym, if you just enjoy going for a good walk. Now, I did say a bit ago in this podcast, I don't class mooching around the village with the dog, walking to the corner shop, going to Tesco's as exercise. Getting steps in through everyday movement, I don't class as exercise. But if I did go for a 30-minute walk and I walked at a really good pace without stopping, 15 minutes one way, 15 minutes back, I would class that as exercise. If I went for a long walk, I might not go at a pace, but the longer we do something for in terms of physical activity, the more our body fatigues. And as our body fatigues, it has to work harder. Therefore, something that's just plodding along as a walk, if you do that for a couple of hours, it would turn into exercise. So if I go for a walk that's over an hour, I then class that as doing some exercise. So yeah, if you're currently not that physically fit, that physically healthy, you don't get a lot of steps in, or you don't do many sort of specific walks, a day or during the week, adding a 30-minute walk a day into your lifestyle, certainly to start off with, will be good exercise. Anything you do just to get that heart rate up a little bit will be a great support tool for your weight loss journey. So do you need to exercise to have a successful weight loss journey? Nope, not at all. Should you exercise while on a weight loss journey, while not on a weight loss journey, while maintaining your weight loss journey losses? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Right. that's it for this one. I think this is the first podcast I've done on a bit of movement. I will do a couple more. I'm going to talk about steps in a few podcast time, because that's another one I'm getting asked a lot about at the moment. But for now, until next time, go start doing a little bit of regular exercise, because that will help you boss your weight loss.